It's been 3 months since I released the first video, and I'm really surprised by how many people left positive comments about my game. Now I have a total of 62 subscribers, people who believe in the project and want to play the game. But the question is, what have I done in the past 90 days? As you can see, I've been busy. The Steam page is up, I made new assets and textures for the level I'm working on, added a flying enemy to the game, new jibs for the soldier, a throwable barrel system, and much more. One thing that I did was implement a damage indicator, because I noticed that my wife would have a hard time finding where she was getting attacked from. Another feedback that she gave me was that it was too difficult to tell when the player was injured and about to die. To solve that, I made a few changes both in the UI and the audio system. First, I added a blood screen that keeps pulsating when your life is below 35. And the icing on the cake, in my opinion, is hearing your beating heart when you're almost dead. Then I made the health indicator change colors, going from green to orange and then red. I also changed the pain sound according to how hurt you are. I've been playing a lot of Quake, and there's one feature that I love in this game, which is you can grab and throw oil lamps and explosive barrels at your foes. I became obsessed with blowing and burning the enemies. That made me feel good and smart in a way, because I was both doing a lot of damage and saving ammo at the same time. So I decided to implement this feature in my game. First, I tried to copy Quake's system, which takes in consideration the speed of the barrel at the moment of the collision in order to trigger the explosion. But I found it to be unreliable on my game. In the end, I had the idea of just making a projectile that looks like a barrel, but works pretty much as an impact grenade. And yes, you can barrel jump. Flying enemies in a Doom/Quake-like game are a must, and I've been planning on making one for a long time. So I had this totally original idea of a flying head that shoots lasers at you. First, I created a model in Blender, then I made the textures in Substance Painter. In Unreal, I added a light to his face so we can see him staring at us like a maniac. Now comes the hard part, making this little guy chase us. Most of the tutorials didn't work. I needed them to be smart and chase me through dense geometry, windows, tunnels. I was starting to lose hope. Then I saw this really cool video by Yahya Dambus called Adding Flying Enemies Broke My Game. And in that video, I learned about a plugin in Unreal Engine called See-Pathfinding, which uses voxels created in real time to calculate how to reach a point in space. And it works. Now he can stalk the player anywhere on the map, no matter your elevation. I even added breakable glass so they can make a cool entrance. It also has a spinning saw he can use to shred the player up close. They're very fun and add another layer to the combat, since they will ignore any obstacles designed for regular enemies and just fly over them to reach you. Every enemy in Necrology has a role, and something unique about them. Slaves can slide to dodge player bullets, and use blades to cause damage. They also don't give you any pickup when they die, making you waste precious ammo without any reward. Soldiers, on the other hand, will drop ammo pickups when they die. They behave in a more tactical way. Centaur are bullet sponges. He has the brain of a fallen soldier. They can make things a lot harder for the player when they show up. Despite looking half human, he's a cybernetic organism, living tissue on top of a metal endoskeleton. You know, another one of my many original ideas. I need to work a little more on his Battle 1 version though, to make him more believable. He doesn't have any weak points yet, but I want to make it possible to destroy his weapons or his head. Let's talk about level design. The first thing that I did when I started learning Unreal Engine many years ago was making art assets and textures for the levels before even having a level to begin with. Don't do this unless you're just having fun and learning how to make assets for the engine. If you're planning on releasing your game, you throw a lot of stuff in the trash and waste precious time by doing so. This time, I decided to do things differently. I made a level using very simple geometry, a process called blocking or grayboxing. This is important because you can make changes fast, so you can focus on the fun, scale and combat aspect of the level. Once I felt like the overall concept of the map was fun enough for production, I sent the meshes into Blender and started modeling and texturing the assets. I ended up making a lot of changes in the first area, making it much more interesting than during the grayboxing phase in my opinion. Now, all that I need to do is finish the other areas and start polishing the details. I'm excited and honestly grateful for everyone who's supporting this game. If you enjoyed this devlog, consider subscribing, leaving a like, and don't forget to wishlist Necrology on Steam. Thanks for watching and see you in the next time.